care too much about it. Every once in a while in the studio, they might ask me, "Hey, what's up with that?" And then I'll go into it. But then you realize once you start talking, and then you finish, there's nothing else. After that, and they're like, it's more like, oh, okay, moment, whatever. They don't care. So I'm cool to discuss with people who give a fuck. It's always cool and exchange ideas, and I nerd about a lot of things in life, so it's cool to meet fellow nerds.
Yeah, there we go.
Really.
I turned it on. Check.
Check 1 2 1 2. Yeah. We're about right here.
Check 1 2.
Well, yo, check. What about my homegirl right here?
Yeah, I already did hers.
So you came on, right? And then things were already turning, like the intellectual perspective of everything that was on the room kind of changes.
It explained to him who we were, though, too. Like, you understand who we used to be, right?
Not really politically. I mean, I figured that you guys
we
probably
weren't political.
We weren't
Oh,
political
yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
You guys were political.
We were just
assholes.
We were
dude.
just assholes trying to be edgy.
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
make
Yeah,
people
yeah.
laugh at the fucking most
I love
stupidest,
that.
ridiculous thing. We were trying to be like we were trying to bring back that kind of like original old school Howard Stern kind of vibe where
Got
we're
it.
just
It's like mixed Jackass mixed with Stern.
That's
mixed
cool.
with-
just
I love that.
bits and ragging on
Bubba the
people,
Love
and
Sponge.
gagging on,
Yeah.
and fucking
Not politically correct.
not
shit.
politically
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
correct at all. Borderline
that.
racist shit. You know what I mean?
I like that too.
Yeah.
With good intent, good taste. I mean, we could joke about anything.
No, that's exactly.
Yeah, tell
who
that
we
to
were.
2020, bro.
Yeah,
I know.
but then
we saw it like, bro, at peak we're like 25, 50K a week,
That's
a week.
crazy.
right?
Yeah,
And then 2020 happened, and it was like, oh, you guys are fucking assholes. And then we started like, you start talking about like, this doesn't make sense with the vaccine. It doesn't make sense with the masks.
You'll lose viewership real quick. Yeah.
Oh,
Especially, you know who Ventura is, right?
Yeah.
You know who our audience was?
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of hippies.
Yeah. That's crazy.
We were riding a hot wave, and then COVID happened, and then at that point we were just like, fuck it, and then we just went all. We just
What side were you guys on when you were like on this event?
we were in the sides of like fuck it,
Freedom of
like,
speech.
freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to
Okay.
take it, don't
Anti-war.
take it. Yeah, it was
Good.
just
Yeah.
like well, we can't go outside. Like why do we have to wear masks? Like what
Right.
the fuck? Like what are you talking about? Or if you want to wear a mask, that's cool. But why are you making me wear a mask for? Like
Yeah.
like it's so. So that was 2020, right? So
Since then we've been spiraling, bro.
Right.
Like we went to no cover, so we went hardcore music, music,
Right.
because we're like, oh shit, well let's go hardcore one way because this way we're hemorrhaging.
Right.
So we go and we do. So then we do no cover,
Mhm.
and that's how we link up.
Yeah.
And then probably 2024 or 2023, 2024, we're like, no more no cover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So what's no cover? Like what's the
it
background?
was a magazine. So we link up with this guy from San Diego who at one point was he brought no cover to this fame, right? He's just a marketing dude. This dude's a used car salesman, and he just looks for the dudes who can do the thing.
Right.
And he just tries to link them up. So I was the dude that did the thing. And we split 50% of the music awards for 50% no cover. So then but it was 51% me music award, so I get the last say. 49% him, and then for no cover, 51% him, 49% me. So with that 49%, the dude tells me, "Oh, we're gonna like see that one where I'm on, the small one, the zine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go back to that version, and we're gonna go from 20 pages to 16 pages, and then from 3/4 of stories to 1/4 of stories and the rest ads." And like, oh, so you want me to just have a blip of a product so you can make money on ads?
Yeah, penny saver.
I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I'm an
Right.
artist.
Yeah.
Like,
And
even though I'm a
you
shitty
wanted to
artist,
fill the shit with content, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like kind of
Is it a
taking a
hard
little of your
copy
juice away.
magazine?
They're hardcore copy.
All those are great. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was big, man. I mean, that's what friends would tell me. I looked into it later, and yeah, no cover was a big thing, man, back in the day. So that's an interesting backstory. I never knew that.
And then so in 2024, we're like, or what are we gonna do? We
Mm.
end up bringing back a friend, an old member of the show, and we try to work that out. We slim down the cast, and let's try to get more real. You know what I mean? And
We had to change the dynamic of what we were doing because what we were doing was now getting either played out or been done and done that, and
Right.
people were wanting. I feel like we needed to evolve. It was
That's
a new
cool. Fuck yeah,
evolution
man.
of what we were doing. Don't get me wrong, I miss those days where we used to fucking.
I yearn
spin the
for
wheel.
it.
That's why we have the wheel there. The wheel.
You can still crack a fart joke here and there.
Hell,
You know?
hey, we can have a wheel spin every once in a while and figure it out. But we used to have that. We used to like that was the wheel of consequence. If you didn't
Yeah.
do your shit, you know, you would get raccoon died, or you get fart spray in the face, or
Ah,
lizard,
okay,
or
that
a
kind of
kendo
shit.
stick, or pepper spray. You know,
Yeah,
like we
yeah,
used to do
yeah.
some wild shit, or you know.
And that's
so-
where the jackass comes
That's
in.
where the
Got
jackass
it. That's
There
cool.
was every week you'd have somebody. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Where you have a bunch of 18 to 24-year-olds
Right.
having to do. You are responsible for this by this date.
Uh-huh.
If you don't do it, you're spinning the wheel. Okay, how many times do you think that wheel's being
Oh,
spun?
shit.
Fucking every
Yeah.
week.
All the time. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what happened, and so then what started happening as we were evolving
Uh-huh.
is that we started seeing the political and sociological aspect of what was going on with our friend group, what were
Mhm.
going on in the people that we follow online, and what was going on like in the social media platform. So at the same time of being content creators, we're figuring out like, well, why aren't people fucking with us, right? What are we saying that's wrong? And at a certain point, we tried to like appease everybody, and then at a point, it's like, well,
We were
not-
just hemorrhaging like followers at that point.
Yeah,
By
and-
trying to appease everyone.
Yeah, and then we were like, well, we're doing a disservice to us because we're trying to appease everybody. And I said, at this point, fuck appeasing everybody.
Yes.
Let's just fucking figure this out for ourselves and do shit for us.
Yes.
And then that's when we started switching and then
And
you came around.
You came.
And then you started talking some shit because there's some shit that you say that I didn't fully agree with, and I'm like,
Mhm.
all right. But then you stopped some shoulder shit that I'm like, oh shit, well tell me more about that.
Mm.
And so when you were opening up this enlightenment in me, I'm like, oh shit. And then he started saying oh shit, and then we started both saying oh shit, and we're like, what the fuck? And so then I went through this whole spiritual awakening and shit, and so then I'm like, all right, well here's what, and then this was literally maybe like 2 or so weeks ago. We're like, you know what's going on here? We have one side that has a platform and is very vocal, and then we have another side that's very vocal. What about the people in the middle? What about the people who are like us,
Right.
who are like-minded, who
Or
are
not extreme.
or
Just
not
like
extreme,
shit
but
show.
open to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool if we don't agree on everything, but what if we have a conversation? What if we have platform? And I told him, we have
Yeah.
to start building the community.
And
Oh,
so
but
I
another
like
thing
that. I like that.
with when you came through, when you were coming through, I was like, oh, I can't wait. We're gonna argue about stuff. Like that's what I was in my head,
He's not wrong. Yeah.
and I was like, all right, I'm prepared. I was like, I know. And then I heard you talk, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well,
There's
humbled
things I'm
yourself.
wrong about, and there's things that, but no matter what what you're saying is still true because that's your truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's great.
And-
You acknowledge the fact that you were wrong. Like,
Yeah.
You know what?
And I was humbled, bro.
You know,
and
I
wanna say
respect that
thank
so
you.
much, man. And honestly, bro, I think that you guys are smart dudes, man. And I think that you guys instinctually felt that some shit ain't right,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we all
100%.
instinctually felt like, we know the narrative, we know what they're telling
Too many
us.
coincidences.
And I just think that everybody is kind of like that. I mean, the truth or whatever you want to call truth, information is sometimes like a seed that you plant, and the more you hear it, and a lie is kind of similar, you know what I mean? The more you hear it, the more you start to believe it. But instinctually, the difference is between a lie and a truth. Inside, you truly, I don't know, it's what you would call intuition or what, but you truly could feel when some shit resonates, some truth resonates with you, because there's so much fucking out there, and I'm sure we'll cover it, but there's a whole lot of lies now, a whole lot of disinformation, misinformation, and it's just cool that you guys switched the format because I think you guys, we all love to joke and fuck around, but I think it's cool that you guys have this element in you because, like you said, your viewership, we all love to laugh and talk shit, but then there's also that element of like, oh, we know we're being lied to. That's some bullshit.
Well, we don't want to lose what brought us to the show, right? We're still gonna be,
Yeah.
not politically correct and stuff, but in the root of it, we really want to have, and we come to understanding, we want to have a platform to have people have open conversations with people especially people that don't agree,
Right.
but have an open platform to have conversations.
And not just
yeah.
just with the political spirit too, but
Yeah, exactly. It's
like
everything.
we had a porn star named Chloe Carter on.
Camera.
We spoke to her about her childhood,
Mm,
her growing up, what made her go in this, bro.
some daddy issues.
Did you have trauma?
She had a lot of trauma, and I'm gonna tell you a situation. It broke my fucking heart.
Yeah.
I look her up after. I was like, oh, you know what? Let me look at something that she's done. She, and I watch her art. I watch maybe like 2 minutes of it. I can't, cause this girl, like,
Knowing the backstory.
Yeah.
bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
You know what the crazy thing is, man? We get to a certain age where we see a female or even a young man, and we see like somebody's son, somebody's daughter.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so sometimes that could be my sister or relative, and you kind of just think about shit different.
Yeah.
And that's what that reminded me of. You know what I mean? Because when we're young, man, we're just like, hell yeah, man, let's fucking go, fuck around, da 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 da. You don't think about nothing, man. Guys, young
yeah.
man, we lie a lot.
Yeah.
Whatever it is
yeah.
to get to the goal.
Well, think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No,
To Valhalla, man.
We're trying to get on this show, but
Yeah.
no, like for example, like I remember like even thinking about it as I get older. Fuck yeah, I can't wait to get that age when I'm in my 50s and if I'm still single, I'm gonna straight up date 20-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I'm thinking about it, I go,
Right.
fuck
Probably
am I
shouldn't do
thinking?
that.
Like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
You have
what
no
the
connection to the
fuck?
culture they were raised in.
Nothing. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
dude,
Like when you see
Like
Anthony
that's a
Kiedis
bop. I
with
barely
that
figured
girl.
out what a bop was, and I was like, what? What is that? I
Have
don't
you
know that
seen
lingo.
Anthony Kiedis with that girl?
Who?
Anthony, the dude
Oh
from Red
yeah,
Hot-
the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
She's 23, bro.
Bro, I
He's
seen that
61.
shit, dude. She looks like a little girl, dude.
Yeah,
Next
look,
to
I thought that was her
dude.
daughter at first.
I'm
That's
like
crazy.
That's wild.
10 years ago, I'd be like, yo,
Well,
Yeah.
that was different.
good job.
That's right, dog.
Hey.
Yeah. Now I'm like, yo.
Going to public
well,
with
that's
her,
what
like,
happens.
and all that
That's
shit.
what happens when you get old, man. That was you were still in your 30s. That's different. It's funny
Yeah,
for speaking for men, like when you get older, hopefully the norm is you mature and you grow into a different kind of a person. But sometimes there's these guys that just don't do that, and
Yeah.
they're stuck in the childish ways of like, fuck it, that's the goal.
Yeah, and I
right?
think with
You
this
thought
too,
you were
it's
going
kind
to
of
be
almost-
that dude, huh?
I really was. Because I remember
Because you were on
literally
one,
just
you were
said-
on that road.
I literally just said like I couldn't wait to be the silver fox at 50.
Yeah,
dating
silver
fucking
fuck.
No,
dating
but
fucking
Isaac,
20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, I
that-
couldn't wait for that.
I mean, let's just say 3 years ago, you were headed down that road.
Oh, I was definitely heading down that path for sure. But I got right. I got the perspective. I found my faith again.
Hell yeah.
And I kind of restructured the way my perspective of
Mm.
Gain wisdom.
Okay.
And and you think about it too, like you want, if you're 50, or even older, bro, like 10 years might not seem like a lot, and it's kind of not when you're older, but like when you're fucking like 50 and there's a 20-year-old dude, like the culture and how you're raised, there's like nothing in common there. So I feel like rich dudes usually it's kind of more of like a flex
sure.
to have a young girlfriend. You take her to the country club and shit,
Yeah,
and show all your
show her
buddies like
show
a
her
car, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
car.
Exactly
dude,
what
you
it
know what
is.
I'm saying?
A
Like
trophy wife.
But then
Trophy
she's fucking with you for the money or
Sure,
whatever,
whatever
and
the-
and the people that see through that is just like kind of whatever. It's kind of almost cooler to have someone that remembers like the fucking bangers in high school, like the songs you were listening
Yeah.
to, and oh, that's your shit. Remember
like
that?
you're-
We're from the same
It's
era
like,
type
hey,
shit.
You remember
You know what I mean?
Rugrats? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Exactly.
She's like,
that
what?
type shit.
What?
Do you know what
What's
Legion of
Rugrats?
Doom is?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right. That might be a cougar, but hell yeah.
Yeah.
I got some things for you. These are the things I want to hit
Let's
today.
do it.
Did you see Trump's speech?
I heard clips of it.
Okay,
I heard clips of it. He said
these are
some-
just what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk,
Mm-hmm.
the killer.
Mm.
Do you feel any way about any
Oh,
of these?
yeah, bro.
Okay. He was released at 275 boots on ground from the FBI were planted inside the so-called insurrection. Did you hear about that?
No.
That was today.
275 boots were put in the insurrection.
So
down on
they
the ground?
they infiltrated
It's September 6th or January 6th?
January 6th. 275 FBI agents were sent to agitate
Oh.
to push people into.
That's crazy,
Oh,
bro.
really? And that's
I
a
didn't hear
fact?
nothing
This is
about
a
that.
fact, Yeah.
What?
I hear nothing about it. It makes
From the
sense.
Who dropped
Investigation?
that? Who spoke out on that?
I can get it in. A
No,
little bit.
it's what's cool.
That's a whole lot of
This-
FBI's, bro. They had to get homies from different branches together on that.
This
Well,
one.
was
if
part
you
of
think
Trump's
of-
speech.
No, this is all different things.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's crazy.
So that dude George Zinn,
Oh,
he
yeah,
works
dude.
for FBI. He used to, and what did he do? This dude George Zinn, if you know Charlie Kirk killer, he ends up as soon as there's a shot. 3 seconds later or 6 seconds later, you see him running into frame. I shot him. Killed
The
me,
old
killed
dude,
me.
right?
Yes, that's
Oh,
George
the
Zinn.
bald guy?
Yeah, he is FBI.
He just happened to be at the Boston bombing. He also just happened to be at 9/11.
Yes.
Stop
He
it.
happened to be, and the probability, some dude calculated it
Camera.
with some AI shit, and they're like, yo, what is the probability of this Zinn dude being at the Boston bombing,
0.
the
Yeah, I
fucking
saw that.
9/11, and this shit?
Oh,
And it
dude.
was like .00 fucking 1.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, he had to be an asset of some sort for
Well,
sure.
not well. I'm sure. I'm sure. You're gonna
There's
get,
an interview with him where he's bragging about him working for FBI. And
Okay, I've seen a little clip of that. Yeah,
They scrubbed it,
Yeah.
and some dude fucking got it before it got scrubbed.
I
in
love the
in
internet.
time back. Yeah.
You gotta love the
So
internet,
so he
bro.
was like on a radio show or podcast.
Yeah.
Admitting,
On
like,
some podcast
Yep.
shit.
oh,
Yeah, bragging
that's
about where he's
crazy.
been. You know,
because now they're starting to think they're untouchable now. That's why they get arrogant and they'll start dropping stupid shit and they go, "Oh fuck."
The Snake Eyes theory.
Oh, I
You hear
heard
about
about
that?
that shit recently. That's crazy. I haven't seen the Snake Eyes movie, but god damn, man, predictive programming for sure.
Yeah.
Israel.
And
Israel.
Again with this.
No, this is a whole nother situation.
Well, no, he knows because he already dropped that knowledge last time.
There's something else with Israel, and it's getting a little too. Oh, that's another coincidence. Oh, that's
Mhm.
another coincidence. There's too many coincidences right now.
People are starting to notice.
All right, and then two more. The last two things are birthing planets. Did you see that? That there is a study that came out that proved that the sun births planets.
Births planets. I don't
Births.
believe that.
Well,
I mean,
it has
shit.
a lot of energy, so,
So,
yeah, I don't see that's
Back
possible.
in 2 years ago, actor Terrence Howard goes on Joe Rogan program
Mm-hmm.
and he makes this claim.
Right. Oh, is he the one that made the claim?
He made the claim,
Okay.
but this has been debated amongst the scientific community for at least 100 years. And so I want to talk about that.
And so he's been vindicated. Is that what you're saying?
He's been
That's
vindicated.
crazy. Hell yeah.
Because they were trying to play that fool off as crazy.
Yeah, they
Yep.
were
Hard
on
too.
all levels.
On every
yeah.
level, yes.
I was like,
Fucking with his wife, his family.
I was wondering why they're trying. I was like, why are they fucking with them so
Why
hard?
are they fucking with the
Like,
fool from Empire, dog?
Yeah,
Lucius Lyon. Leave
like,
Lucius alone, dog.
Yo, fucking pimps get lonely too. You know what I'm saying?
And then the last subject is, and this is sort of, maybe we leave with this subject, but Jimmy Carter. Did you hear about Jimmy Carter back in, you know where I'm going with this?
I mean, I think so. Yeah, go ahead.
I was this the 70s, 77?
Mm-hmm.
He asked about aliens. He goes and talks to them. He talks to the people in the FBI, and they break it down to him. They have this. They have an alien it's not an alien. It's like a being from another planet. It's interdimensional. They're saying that everything's interdimensional. They are able to blur the lines to go into that dimension by uses other than DMT. So you don't have to use DMT to get into it.
Still drugs, like you're still using a substance.
I think it's sound waves, different kinds of sound
Frequency,
waves.
yeah.
And they used to use it in the Egyptian times with the tombs. So that's what a lot of the tombs were also healing mechanisms for people. It's like a hospital where you use sound waves to heal you.
Yeah, based on this architecture of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they tell Jimmy Carter that the people from the other dimension came and made up the religions so people wouldn't kill themselves. And Jimmy Carter, they said that the story goes that he sobbed in his hands, and he didn't do any public appearances for like 10 days or something.
Such a heavy truth, huh?
That'd be true.
That's crazy.
So I want to get into that, and what do you
Okay.
think about it? I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying any of these things are real. I'm not condoning any of the things. I think this is just a conversation that we have, and if we do talk that way, and if we do during this conversation lean towards a certain way, it doesn't necessarily mean that's who we are. We're just having
Right.
a conversation, and we're working it out mentally.
Hell yeah.
So I want to preface everything by saying that.
That's right.
So where do you want to go, bro? Where
I
do
mean,
you want
let's
to go
start down the
first?
list, man. I mean, let's start down the list, brother.
All right, the UN and Trump.
Yeah, I did hear that, man. I mean, it's just crazy, bro. Like I was saying last time, we worked as a country so many years on uniting every country, bro, and becoming this legit big bro fucking watchdog for justice all over the planet. And we worked so hard to achieve that position and to squash beefs amongst other countries and, all that just to throw it away, bro. And again, man, our president is a walking representation of us. And, bro, I mean, I think Trump is a representation of kind of the ignorant side of America, man. And he, like, compared to other presidents and how they speak at the UN, like, you don't say shit like that, man. We get what he means. He was talking about immigration.
Sure.
He said, we're against immigration. And he was trying to say, if you allow immigration into your country, it's going to turn into a hell. But the way he said it was like, you guys are all going to hell. It's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
I used
You
to
know,
be
part
pro
of-
Trump.
Yeah, you
And
know.
I actually like that about him, that he was just kind of like one of us.
I mean, we
almost.
like that us, but
Yeah.
when you're dressed in the UN, that's like world leaders. Talk to them different, you know.
All right, so
Yeah.
all right. With when it happened with the UN, I think that the UN needed that.
Mm.
I think those leaders need to hear that. And there's a couple of good points he made. One, he's been in office, and of course this is a braggadocious moment for this dude, right?
Hmm.
I've been in office 9 months and I've solved 7 wars. How come the UN didn't do that? We give them all this money, and
What
all they
7
do-
wars did he stop?
Um,
Because this dude says a lot of shit.
well, for sure.
So
He'll-
he,
you know-
he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for bringing peace to the Middle East, and
While
was,
giving arms to Israel to bomb Palestine.
Don't get me started with that
but-
one.
okay, who runs the?
That's why I've withdrew support from like lately.
Mhm.
When he allowed that war to happen, when I was like, okay, I thought your whole slogan was anti-war, like you bring the peace.
I mean, Obama got the Peace Prize too when he was bombing, Syria
Bombing the
and other
shit out of
places.
them,
He did?
too.
And you got to think about
I
who
didn't-
runs the Nobel Peace Prize. Come on, dog. You know who runs it, right? You know
I
who
know,
runs it.
I don't.
Okay.
Yo, tell
So
them.
they're gonna hook
Tell
up their
them.
homies.
Don't say, just say.
We're gonna say Zionists.
Okay,
Zionists
that's
run the Nobel Peace Prize,
Okay.
and so they give
Okay.
active wartime presidents a Nobel Peace Prize. It's kind of almost like a
Look the other way.
gesture,
type of
like,
thing.
yo, we can give you the Nobel Peace if you just continue. It's kind of
Yep.
they dangle it in front, and it just makes no sense compared to
That
who
makes
actually deserves it.
And does it even matter at that point? Like, does the award mean what it's supposed to mean? Is it the same award from the 20s?
Nah,
You
it
know
lost-
what I mean?
It's lost.
Yeah.
It's lost. It's probably
Exactly, it did.
All right, here you go. This is the wars he saw: Armenia and
Azerbaijan. Yeah.
That's my favorite one. I love that.
Iran and Israel.
Which one?
Iran Israel ceasefire.
Okay,
I
that's a
stopped that- I
ceasefire,
stopped that in
bro.
like 12. I think it was a 12-day war. I stopped that. It was great.
That one we're not gonna count because that shit ain't done. You know what I mean?
Is
US
Russia still
Houthi
bombing
Yemen?
Ukraine?
Okay, that one isn't done either. We just bombed the shit out of Yemen, bro, and we continue to do so.
That's on them though.
He could.
I mean, not that I'm taking.
I mean, U.S. intelligence assists Israel in doing all these
Yes,
targeted strikes.
that's
So
what it is.
It's kind of almost like, okay, are you a really peaceful guy if you helped your homie plot to fuck that dude up? You know what I mean? Like,
It's peaceful for my.
yeah,
homie.
you're give your homie the weapons and all that, and you'll spy on him.
Pakistan, India.
That was easy. That was what I said. We're not gonna get. We're gonna put a tariff on curry if you don't stop.
My favorite word, tariff.
My favorite words.
All right, so when it came, I think that if the UN is going to be the UN,
Hmm.
Yeah.
we need to be more aggressive.
But here's the thing: UN really doesn't have power, man. When United States has veto power over anything, dude, 100 and so many countries voted to legitimize Palestine as a state, recognize it as a state, and U.S., Israel, and a few handful of little other minion countries they control said no. But even if they all agreed, it's within the fabric of the UN that United States gets veto power because we started this shit. We created the UN. You know what I mean? And even now, Britain was it United Kingdom also recognized Palestine, and that's crazy. Like, is this political theater? What the fuck, you know? But no.
is.
I mean, also the UN has no military power. They need to get that vote to even deploy troops. So yes, I agree with you. The UN really doesn't have. It has like. On
Does it have
paper
any
authority.
leverage?
It has on paper authority, but like to mobilize troops and to mobilize aid, you need approval from everybody. And with that veto power, again, United States vetoed all that shit, all the aid.
So if let's just say that
6
is there
times they
any
vetoed.
is there anything that they all right, we are the UN, we're going to stick together to ostracize said person.
Yes, they do. And
They do all the time.
yeah,
Then,
the,
then
yeah.
why isn't
It's
that a
Russia.
situation?
Because the UN didn't veto it. Like if you remember, shit, dude, like they put Putin on that on the list to like make him a fucking criminal or whatever, to demonize Putin. But the UN was created to go after like the African warlords and shit, and those it was mainly made for people like Muammar Gaddafi and like all the leaders of rich countries. To be able to say like, hey, if you don't fucking rock with us, then you're gonna be labeled a fucking terrorist or
it's just a gang.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
a gang.
it's just
a
a
council.
and,
oh,
and
okay,
United
I
States
get
has
it.
veto power, bro. So again, bro, it's never been more clear when this motherfucker getting a Nobel Peace, but we're still giving arms to Israel. We're helping them with intelligence. Okay, here's a good example. Okay, when Lebanon was going to war with Israel for a few weeks, it seemed like. You know what I mean? Hezbollah versus the IDF.
Yeah.
They also deployed UN troops on that border, right? As well, they called it like they're just overlooking everything, just watching. But they had a little post, and they were shot out multiple times by the IDF, bro. Just fucking, no one got hurt, but it's kind of that disrespect that they had for them. And when this shit came out, they're like, oh, well, no, Israel never fired at any UN troops, but the UN troops are like, what the fuck, bro? You know, and so it's all this game. It's this political theater, bro. The UN doesn't have ultimate authority because the United States holds that veto power. So they can say, and you know how many times the U.S. vetoed it, bro? 6 times at least, bro.
So do you think that at all that there's a situation where we need to come together and decide
100.
or what is the most important thing on this earth? Is it life? Is it our life?
It's everybody's life,
then
man.
That's number one. How do we preserve that?
See, that's
You
in
feel
direct
me?
that's in direct conflict with profit as well, though. You know, we don't value life; we value certain people's life. You know, look at the Congo, bro. Like, there's kids mining
That's
for
the follow-up
lithium and
question
shit.
after that.
But you know what? iPhones, there's computer companies that make money off of that shit because it goes into every phone, and so there's reason to not even want to show that shit. And they don't got internet. They don't got access to internet. We don't see the abuses that go on over there. But these
That's
minds,
crazy.
bro, are controlled, dude, like by these big tech companies, bro. And we're not meant to know that shit, you know? Because if we do that shit domestically, it's gonna cost so much more. And it's just, and they're rich in minerals in Africa, bro. They got cobalt, lithium, gold.
Have
all
you seen what that
shit.
looks like, guys?
No.
Bro? It is
Bro,
crazy.
it is like, all right, just imagine all dirt
Okay.
and then
And
hundreds
Dodger
of thousands
Stadium
of people.
fucking just, yeah. You ever been to a Dodger game?
Little kids. Little kids, right?
Yeah.
Like 7 years old just carrying things on their head.
Yeah, it's insane. Fighting for a spot just to be the first one there.
Just
A lot
to-
of kids die, you know, because of the health condition, you know, and partially too
lithium?
for all that shit,
Cobalt.
all the
Radioactive.
minerals that it takes to make chips and batteries and shit for computers, you know. And the thing is, bro, there is no human rights over there, bro. You know, because again, it's a profit thing. So. But thank goodness to the internet. The only reason Gaza stories come out is because they're next to Israel and they have eSIMs and they're able to upload that shit through their channels. You know what I mean? But Africa's like, shit, man. They actually just created the internet in Africa, actually.
Really?
Big news, bro. They created their own internet, bro.
Oh,
Because,
I heard
you know,
about it.
the way the internet works is your servers are all in, like, United States, in London. Anytime we look up some shit in the internet, it goes to those servers, right? So Africa created their own internet with their own servers, and I think that's fucking something super dope. you know?
www.
Yeah, beatbox.
Well, so going back to the original thing that he said, so
Yeah.
and as you were talking about that and how we now kind of believe in a sense that it's a game, wouldn't you think that that's the reason why Trump checked them like that? Like he was just like, yo, like that. I think that was more of, listen, I know there's decorum when it comes to be a president and the leader of the free world,
Mhm.
right? But this dude literally, and again, if you want to believe what you believe, that's fine. I think there's outside powers working. You know what I mean? But if
I
we're-
want to get there too.
but if we're looking before we peel the onion, if we're looking at this at face value, and you look at
Mhm.
this dude who, if you believe that a lot of misinformation was done, a lot of
Mhm.
political things were rigged on his account, and he still came up on top. Don't you think he kind of has a chip on his shoulder? He's gonna be like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna swing this dick, and I'm gonna fucking go after all the people that fucking naysayed me, and fucking,
yeah.
because that's his nature, right?
Yeah,
That's
of
what he's-
course.
Are you of the belief that during his first presidency they fucked with him?
Yeah, I'm sure they did, bro, because he wasn't a usual politician, bro.
he's
He had-
out- yeah,
a lot of
he's
people
outside
detested him because of that, even the own Republican Party, bro.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that the second round was crazy, his second presidency, because he truly had that AIPAC support. He truly
They're trying to put this dude in jail, bro.
I know, bro. And again, see, there's consequences to what you say. So when you're campaigning against Biden and you're shooting below the belt, you're talking shit about his wife. You're talking
Sure.
shit. You know what I mean?
Ted Cruz's wife? She's
people-
ugly.
Yes,
She's a
dude.
dog.
There's people on that side, bro, that have ties to
That
intelligence.
You know
that
what?
was
I think it's
cold,
all
bro.
That was
theater,
cold.
though.
That was cold.
What were you saying?
I think it's all theater.
It is theater.
Because
I
you
feel
know
that.
what? He's actually related to I think Obama or the
They're all
Clintons.
related.
They're all-
They all come from the
It's
same
the same
bloodline.
bloodline.
It's the
Isn't that a
same
trip?
bloodline.
Someone recently did that with the AI model and showed the family lineage to all the presidents.
Except
and they're
for
all,
the
yeah,
only-
there's one.
They're all
Van
Yeah,
Buren,
related.
there's one.
He's number 6 or
That's
9.
interesting.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
Van Buren get in office, bro? What was the exception?
I
I
know,
need to
what-
look into
what
that.
was that?
Suck.
I think,
Right.
I
Why?
think someone
Why?
died, no? And he
There's-
like succeeded or
Maybe.
what's the word called?
Maybe
Something
maybe he
happened.
was gonna be vice president and he got aced or some shit. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll look into that shit. But yeah,
Okay.
you're right. It's theater.
So also in the UN, he talks about them giving money to. So they found out that the UN was financing flying people from other countries into Mexico to have them cross the border. Once they cross the border, they would give them a card.
You're saying the UN was doing that?
Yes. I'm not sure if it's 493 million or 1.1 billion, but one of those two numbers, I vaguely remember reading about it. They were giving that, and he called them out on it.
So that's crazy. I'd never heard of that. That'd be interesting to look into. But when considering the UN and how limited they are, like, how did they approve that? I'm curious. You know, how did they transport them? You know,
Exactly.
because you got to get a
Where's the
majority
money come
vote to
from?
do some shit, right? Now I know there's a lot of countries part of UN, but I mean that just seems weird. You know,
So look into that.
Yeah.
I would definitely want to, if anybody.
to my understanding, you know, it was I forget the actual company. We talked about it last time I was here. That was
Oh.
assisting in the immigration, and it had
What was it? I know what you're talking
dual
about.
citizenship owners with Israel.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I forgot.
And so again, I think these elements are to destabilize a country, and they're doing the same thing to Europe. You know, you create a problem, people react, you give them the solution, but there's also the scapegoats that you can also throw away in the process. You know, feed them to the fire, and I think that's part of what it is as well. I think part of you know, this whole ICE thing that's going on is partially to demonize this group of people, but also that's the first stage because eventually anybody who disagrees with the government will be a target. And then you got these things like Palantir that are set up, these
Oh my
intelligence models
God.
that are categorizing and linking all of your bank data with your medical data with all data all in one database, so you could easily be blacklisted, easily be discovered or fucking discredited. You
But
know?
all that's on your phone already, pretty much, right?
That too. I mean,
yeah, we allow it to happen.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
so-
Nobody reads terms, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't know, yeah. Like who last time you agreed the whole terms? Like
Nobody.
when I buy new video games, they have a thing and we have the term.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
And-
fuck they're
and
saying.
they do
I
it
Were
just-
you
on
allowed to use your
purpose.
camera? Yep.
Yeah.
Microphone? Yep. Location?
They do it on
Yep.
purpose.
Yeah.
And they even let you scroll, like, you know, you just
Uh-huh.
scroll and just hit
Even
okay.
any
Like, all
app,
right.
Yeah.
any dating app, anything that you have from Apple or anything, there's terms that you
That's crazy.
that you bypass and you don't even
Yeah, they make it long on purpose so you don't read it because
Exactly.
nobody's gonna read 12 pages.
know. They
of
hide
like
it
fine
in the
print,
Right.
seventh
you know,
page
like,
in the second article, and no one's gonna look
Yeah.
at
I
that.
worked at
don't give a shit.
real quick. I worked at a company when I was 18 years old. It was telecommunications. We sold mystery shopping, fucking certificates, bro. And we were a scam a company. We ended up at the front page of the motherfucking like New
Oh,
York Times and shit. And because that's part of the fucking way that we get them. Once they would agree on the phone to a recorded non-refundable fee, that's one. But the terms, bro, it was in the terms. And when they'd call
like
back,
a-
we'd be like, "You didn't read the terms."
It was a recurring fee that
Yeah,
you threw in
bro,
there.
and that's that
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
that corporate fucking America
Fucking
swindle.
lames,
You
getting
know
a
what I mean?
bunch of lames fucking-
Okay, so this is what I got with the UN situation. It was given to an organization, UNHCR
Okay.
and IOM.
Okay.
These, their annual budget is 4 point something. Was it 4?
I believe they're trying to.
4.93 billion.
the
Okay.
UN's
And-
budget is 4.9 billion.
For those, it is to help people for shelter, food, medical care, documentation help, and helping them get to migration routes.
Yeah, see, that's
and who's
weird, bro.
funding that is coming from each country that's part of the UN.
I
Like,
don't
where
know,
does the
but you
money
know what?
come
I do
from?
Gotta
remember
pay their
seeing
dues.
videos.
If it's a gang, they gotta pay their dues.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing videos of like people in New York that are like, "Yo, these people just got fucking like." There's immigrants that are being put in hotels and
Yeah.
they're given cards, and there's regular citizens
Yeah.
that would be filming them on their way to this facility, you know, all the time, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? But they weren't Mexican or Latino all the time. They were sometimes African, sometimes they're different races, bro. And you wonder like, where's the budget coming from? Why are we allocating funds to this shit? Like, what's the play here? You know what I mean? But I partially feel that it is to destabilize America eventually, because when you have this anti-immigrant rhetoric, and at the same time that you're flooding with immigrants, it's going to create division on the ground level, right, with everybody. And then you're distracted with that. Then those could be the headlines, and they can do what the fuck they need to do over there.
I think it's theater.
Mm-hmm.
So they make it seem like, oh, it's destabilizing, but in actuality, they're both part of the same team,
Mm-hmm.
and they purposely create a divide to make people mad at each other so they can control.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
So
that.
I think it's a mechanism of control.
I also heard, and this is like it's out there situation, that this is a Israel agenda to still keep money flowing into them, because Americans are getting tired of their shit.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have a bunch of immigrants over here, that means they're going to be taken care of in America. And if we're taking care of, let's just say diverse people,
Mm-hmm.
they're the loudest of the diversity, right?
Yeah.
Not in a way that's like disrespectful, but I find them very loud. Like,
Yeah.
if you say anything that criticizes them, it
You're
is
talking about the Jews?
yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely put into a category where you are anti-Semite.
Yeah. Antiseptic. Yeah.
Yeah. You're yeah.
I agree with that.
I'm 2/3 Jew by name. Isaac Frank. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's
It's
crazy
against
is
the law,
Isaac
right?
Frank Ice.
To like,
what's funny is they're trying to make Judaism a ethnicity, brother, and that shit is a faith. There's Ethiopian Jews, bro, that have no blood ties to Ashkenazi or any other kind of Jews.
Facts.
And so I think that's one of the plays there, because what is that shit called that they give like funds to people of you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
for like when you go to college.
Yeah, dude. And so they just recently added Jews to that list, so now they get fun, but they're not an ethnicity, but they got up in there.
But see, that's the thing that's genius, because we've been programmed that the Israelis are Jews. They're not. They're Israelis. Jews
aren't a good.
That's true. That's true.
Wait,
There
I have
are
a question for you,
religions.
Doug.
That is
Is
true.
that true?
One of the
Hey,
Like,
100%.
don't they have features though, like the big nose?
But there's so many
Yeah.
different. There's like
But
6, 7 different types.
because I'm born. So, for example, if I'm born in Israel,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I'm gonna practice Judaism,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a faith.
Right.
I could be born in Israel but be Christian and not say that I'm Jew. I'm
Yeah.
Israeli. I am an Israeli person if I'm born there.
Lot of
Because if I'm American doesn't make
Yeah.
me Christian.
I thought like they had some bloodline. Like,
No. So there's so that's the thing, is that you can't openly
love
get a
what Contra
DNA
said.
ancestry test in Israel. It's you got to get like special permits and shit. You can't just hit a 23andMe in Israel. And the reason why is because anybody in Israel, and I've seen videos, people ask, "Where's your grandfather from?" And they'll be like Morocco, or they'll be like Poland, or they'll say Croatia, or somewhere in East Europe, And the truth is, the Ashkenazis really migrated, and what's crazy? The first video ever filmed was like in 1886, right? There's videos from the early 1900s and the 1930s and even the 1940s of these huge ships with all these Polish immigrants, German and Polish immigrants, coming to Palestine, right? And there was already Jewish people there, but those Jewish people were maybe in the 3 to 5% in that area, and they had very different ethnicity than these Eastern European immigrants. And so, again, the Ethiopian Jewish Bible is the oldest Jewish Bible that we know of on this planet, and they hold it and they keep it true to the scripture. And we talked a little bit about this last time, that in the 90s, when there was a migration coming from Ethiopia to the Promised Land, that they were sterilized, and they didn't know. The females didn't know. They were told that they were being immunized, right? Just for like, all that shit. And then they found out years later that they couldn't have kids. They would be having mad miscarriages. And then with further analysis and going, dog, they were like, yo, you pretty much.
Oh, they got him?
They got
they
them,
got
bro.
them.
And the reason why is because black is the dominant gene. Okay. And so this is what I'm sure they were thinking. If we allow all these Ethiopians to come, pretty soon we're all gonna be dark skinned. You know what I mean?
They're gonna mate, and
But
they're gonna
the same
ruin
fear, the
DNA.
so-called fear that people have here in America, that's like white people are gonna fucking be extinct. No, you're fucking not, dude.
So, quick question: When
know?
you say Ashkenazi Jew,
Mhm.
what is that? Where is that
Ashkenazi
from?
Jew is so there's different types of Jewish people. Ashkenazis are from Eastern Europe.
They're Eastern
You know,
European, so they have the big nose. That's like
Yeah.
a Eastern European feature.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause, like,
for
when
sure.
somebody says like Jew, that's like
Right. That's the
stereotypical.
stereotypical,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But there's a few different kinds of Jews, and they're from different parts of the planet. You know what I'm saying? But it's just interesting to see how they're making that maneuver into talking about how they're ethnicity instead of a faith,
ethnicity.
man. Then you kind of blur that line, and you could reap the benefits of being an ethnicity group.
And it's an ethnicity now because if you're from Israel, then you're Jewish.
But they all look different. It's crazy, you know.
Right.
There's some people in Israel that look like Arab, and they are Arab. They always like to
are
brag.
Arabs,
We're 20%
technically.
Arab, right?
Right.
But
That's
you know,
Middle East, so it's like they're all
because they come and they mix in with everybody.
Yeah.
But the majority, the light skin, they're Eastern European descent. You know, yeah. And you ask them, even Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel,
yeah.
his dad is from Poland. His last name is Milakowski.
yeah.
Benjamin
That's
Milakowski. So they changed it to Netanyahu to sound a little more Middle Eastern. And I hate the term Middle
Yeah.
Eastern because it's a derogatory term for Middle East to who? It's like London looks at the Far East, China, and then like the Middle East is like, you know,
So-
India and
Some white.
Where do
some
you
white shit, yeah.
Where do you feel? What do you feel is happening then? What is his goal, Netanyahu? Because
Netanyahu, let
it
me tell
seems
you,
like
bro.
It might be
Bro,
this guy is talking some big shit.
papas.
He's saying things that look true to me.
Okay.
That he controls Trump. It looks true to me.
Bro, the Mossad, Israel as a whole, bro, and what you said, goosebumps, because you're absolutely right. And it's never been so fucking clear to me, bro, because Trump, how many times has Trump tried to set his foot down and be like, no, that's not going to happen? And, you know, he does
What is
different,
it
right?
then?
Brother,
He's
so-
a badass with everybody else,
Listen, they
but for
got
some
me,
reason,
they got me
when-
by the
when-
ball hairs. Okay.
when Netanyahu says something,
Right.
he doesn't have the same energy.
So, right. Because,
'Cause you know where
okay,
that's coming from.
Trump, we got to understand, this motherfucker built New York back in the 80s. He used to work with a lot of mobsters, bro. You know, because the mobs controlled all the ports, you know, so he's very known, and especially in real estate, he did business with these people, dog. So obviously, bro, there's dirt on him since way back. He was rich at a very young age. And so what did Epstein do? Epstein was a known asset, and again, Charlie Kirk understood this. He was starting to notice. And there's one of those infamous last videos where he's saying, obviously, Ghislaine Maxwell and her father, Robert Maxwell. Robert was
Where is this
Israeli.
one on? Is this
I'll send them to you. I'll send 'em.
PBD?
No,
Is it
I mean,
himself or is it? Maggie
okay, so
Kelly?
the Kirk interview was on PBD.
Okay.
That was one where he was saying, no, I think it was on his own show.
Okay,
the
so
one
I
I'm
know-
talking about.
I know
it
what
was
you're
on his
talking
own
about
show, and so he was starting to notice, you know, that they basically had a blackmailing system going on U.S. politicians.
Sure.
And the more that you look into it, you'll see Mossad and CIA. There's a collaboration going on there. Epstein was riding in military issued fucking helicopters. He had mad different passports. He was homies with Trump. If you notice, like all the letters that they would send to each other on each other's birthdays and shit that are
What?
signed.
That
I mean, these things have been published, you know, like, you know, just crazy language like, oh, I know a secret about you. Oh, good secret. You know,
I don't
there's
know
a little
what he's
back and
talking
forth
about,
and
it's
shit.
all fake
Okay,
news.
so
They
hold
send
on.
each other birthday cards?
No, that's
Yes,
not true.
But
That's
Trump,
not true.
Trump got
Trump
a happy
sent-
birthday card from
Trump
Epstein.
wrote supposedly wrote in Epstein's book.
A
However,
flight log, right?
no, for his 50th birthday, there was a
Okay.
thing. It's never been verified by anybody. It was a CBS put it out. It hasn't been verified, and it doesn't. To me, the evidence I've seen to it, it doesn't look as if there's a correlation with it.
I don't know how Trump draws, so I can't call it.
It was
I
like
just
a
know it was
Playboy thing.
published, right? I don't know how his signature
Well,
looks.
listen,
You know
okay,
what I'm
but
saying?
listen. There's pictures with them
Videos of him chilling with Epstein.
chilling with him.
Epstein
Okay.
showing all his
And then the
gums.
shit he says, and then he owns
So
the
we-
pageant.
we,
Miss
we,
Houston,
we,
you know,
we have
so
to
it's
take
like-
it with a grain of
Right.
yes and no or whatever. But the thing with this,
We're just putting what we know here.
Right,
we're
we're-
putting
yeah.
it into a pot. We're making
100.
fucking
we're making stew right
stew
now.
right now.
100.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
keep cooking.
So I think it becomes a little clear and the soup becomes a little hotter when you realize, like, okay, he's tough on all these other things in
Yeah.
life. But then there seems to be like this fucking shield that he will not pass. You know what I mean?
Iron
Yeah.
Dome, if
Um,
you will.
And you know, I mean, on top of that, it's weird that he pulled the chair out for the motherfucker, for Netanyahu when he came. And
Oh,
Netanyahu,
wow.
bro, ever since,
That
I
was
mean,
odd.
Trump has
Yeah, that is
been
very-
president for maybe, what, 8,
Oh,
9
like
months?
10 months, yeah.
Right. Netanyahu's been to the White House 6 times, bro. It's almost like every month, bro. You know, for what, right? It's a wartime, but I think it's a constant reminder that, like, yo, homie,
Joe,
we need to make some shit happen.
Kanye,
Like,
Kanye might be right.
hey, also, dude, if you take it back, there's something called the Lavon affair, right? There was this guy who was a military. You could look it up too. The Lavon affair. There was a dude who worked for United States intelligence or military. I think it was military, and he gave up military fucking secrets to Israel, and he got caught. Right? They discovered this fool. They're like, what the fuck? Usually, you get court-martialed for that shit. You would do some time. They deported his ass back to Israel. He did interviews in Israel. He's a hero in fucking Israel because he gave up United States secrets, right? And that's another thing, okay? And then we talk about the USS Liberty that was sunk.
Yeah.
You know, the USS Liberty was attacked by Israel. There was a United States cruiser.
This is my theory behind that, behind USS Liberty. Do you notice what was happening in that time frame?
There was
JFK?
tension for sure.
JFK got killed,
Mm-hmm.
and we know because of declassified papers, Israel had its hand in that. It's not. It's not debatable.
So let me go deeper into that.
I don't know to what extent, but they were involved in it.
I love that you brought this up. So there's a guy by the name of Lucky Luciano. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. Italian mob. He met a guy named Meyer Lansky. Meyer Lansky was from the Jewish mob, right? And so they became really good, cool, and they started this project in Cuba where they made casinos. I think we might have covered that a little bit.
A little bit.
And then they moved the operation once Fidel Castro and Che Guevara took over Cuba and liberated Cuba because Cubans were getting fucking raped. Prostitution was at the highest. Poverty was at
It was horrible.
It was crazy, right? So that's why I love Che and Fidel. And we'll take that as another convo.
Sure.
But you know, after that, they moved operation to Vegas. They found out about blue light, how it would drain your dopamine receptors, right? But Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky, more importantly, had connects within intelligence services. Why? Because at the time when they were when we were beefing with like Soviets, right? We were like, fuck, we can't cover all these borders, man. So they had to reach out to the mobs in New York that controlled the borders or the docks. And they're like, yo, if you find any of these fucking, you know, Russian spies or whatever the fuck, or I think it was German. No, I think it was German spies. I forget what it was. But they had to reach out to Meyer Lansky, right? And so, no, it was Russian or fucking Soviet. So this fool found a few. He killed like fucking 20 of them. He kept one of them. Mistake. It was German. I remember the story now. It was Germans. They were trying to infiltrate the United States. He kept one of them because one of them had an interesting story. He was talking about, he was also a doctor, and he was talking about how they're doing experiments back in Germany on Jewish people, right? And so Meyer Lansky was like, what the fuck? That's fucked up, man. It kind of enraged him. And so he went to intelligence and he said, yo, these motherfuckers are doing this kind of shit over there, blah, blah, blah. Nothing happened. And he's like, what the fuck? All right, whatever. So basically, to go back to the JFK thing, right? The Israel was trying to get uranium, enriched uranium, and they kept asking JFK, and they asked the previous president, but JFK straight hit him with the stone cold, nah. Not only did he say no, he was like, why do you want to fucking get enriched uranium so bad? Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go check out your nuclear facilities. And so he went to Israel, and they showed him a bunch of so-called facilities, and he came back reportedly pissed. And he's quoted as saying the Israelis are liars, bro. You know, they set up a fake nuclear facility just to show him. Yeah. And he's like, man, I don't trust these motherfuckers, right? But Kennedy fucked up because not only did he question
Put
Israelis,
him on a list or something, correct?
Dude, Kennedy fucked up multiple ways. That was one way, questioning Israel, right? The other way is he was sleeping with military officials' wives and shit. He was like a player and shit. So he made enemies within military ranks, right?
I think that was maybe the biggest one.
That's what enabled the collaboration between these powers, right? And the third was that he was soft on Che Guevara and Fidel because of the Bay of Pigs event, right? When they had nuclear missiles aimed at U.S., he sent soldiers in, but he was apparently soft, you know.
And he fucking said no to Operation Northwoods, which would have gotten.
What is that?
Operation Northwoods was a proposition that happened. What was the year? Is it 60s?
Probably.
Okay, it happened in the 60s where you had they went to Kennedy and said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to have a plane full of college kids that are going to go to from Texas to Miami for spring break, and we're going to blow it up. We're going to have one of our airplanes blow it up, and then we're going to blame it on Cuba, and then we're gonna go to war. We're gonna take over
It
Cuba.
was a false flag event.
Mhm.
He was like, no.
There's many.
And he said no straight up.
Yeah, we tried to
Okay.
invade Cuba and get a reason to do that many ways. Now, there's a documentary on YouTube I saw a fucking decade ago at
But
least.
what's in Cuba?
It's called this documentary is called back in the Che Guevara Fidel Castro days.
Okay, I see.
And they were trying to overthrow Fidel once they took over and once they shut down their little Las Vegas. And there's actual CIA agents that are reported that are saying this because they were part of the missions. They're like, yeah, anything we can do to destabilize Fidel's new government, we would do. And one of the officers was like, man, the one that I remember the most is one time we stopped the milk truck going to a new elementary school that was built, and we poured cement powder into the milk. And because this would result into people saying, what the fuck, Fidel, you're not running the country right, da da da. And so just the level to which the CIA is willing to take this shit is crazy. It's called Secrets of the CIA on YouTube. You can look that up.
Okay. Also, with that, they were trying to kill him for years.
Mm-hmm.
So they would send scuba dive. Do you know about this story?
Mm-hmm.
So, didn't Che like to go out into the ocean and scuba dive and swim and stuff like that? And he used to collect like shells and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, one of the things that they were trying to do is they would put CIA agents underneath the water, wait for him to swim by, and try to blow a dart at him. That's like
Dude,
poison.
there's so many crazy ideas.
They're
to try
so
to kill him,
weird.
bro. They tried to give him a box. Okay, you know why they couldn't kill Fidel? And this is the missing fucking key nobody ever talks about. Is a man by the name of Traficante. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I
Look
vaguely
him up,
remember
bro.
this.
Because he was playing. He was like a double agent. He was playing both sides, bro. He was also trafficking drugs into the U.S. through Cuba, and Fidel allowed it. Right, because he's like, fuck the U.S., you know what I'm saying? But Traficante is also working with the CIA and shit, you know what I
And
mean?
they were allowing him in.
Come on, bro. And, that shit goes on. The importing of drugs from the CIA goes on up until, obviously,
That's why I laugh when they show those videos of them blowing up boats that are coming in. I'm like, stop.
yeah,
You
the
know-
Venezuela
you-
thing with those dudes,
Yeah.
that was a
you know,
show.
You
That
know
was a
what
sh-
you know what you don't show is the 4 other ones that are coming in already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was something for Trump to say, look, we're stopping shit.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what that was.
Yeah.
Listen,
I killed them all
I'm
Killed 'em
blowing
all.
like dog.
They died like dogs.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then you hear the reporting, and they're like, Venezuelan gangbangers. And like, you're getting your fucking words twisted. They're not gangbangers. They're fucking traffickers, dude. They're not
Okay.
banging
They
on
also
anybody.
bang-
I have a question for you, and maybe we've brought this up, maybe we've talked about
Mhm.
this. I'm of the belief that our government, our CIA, has been selling drugs, selling things for years
Mhm.
for black money to help with weapons that we don't see, with
All
airplanes
the
we don't
underground
see,
black projects, yeah.
because and plus robbing the Pentagon.
Day
Um,
before 9/11, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's happened 2 times after this.
Mhm.
So my question to you is: we know crack was in the 80s.
hmm
We know meth.
Heroin was even before in the 70s and 60s with Vietnam.
And then we also did heroin. We took the heroin from Afghanistan
Afghanistan
in
in
the
the
2000s.
early 90s and 2000, yeah.
We know in the 90s that they were slinging meth. Want to know the story? Is my mom? You tell. You're from. I'm not saying that you're from the streets, but you're well aware of what happens on the streets, correct?
100.
So if I told you, hey, some random dude just walked up to me, gave me 6 bricks of meth, and walked away and said, hey, I'll meet you here in a week, what would you?
Dude, that shit is suspect, bro. You're fed, bro. 100%. No one does that, bro.
They did that to my mom. My mom's a fucking retard. She took it, and then so if you did meth from 1994 to 2002 in Ventura County, you got it from her.
Oh, shit.
She was anybody else who's selling it, the feds will go get them.
You know what? And that's what assets are, Like, you heard the Whitey Bulger shit, he was
Yep.
an asset. Like, there's people within, like, even the Mexican mob that were assets, bro, for years, bro, that are allowed to continue. And all they're doing is getting intel fed. They're realizing all the players. They're building a chessboard and connecting the dots. And all you got to do is let one dude slide, and you're busting people. So you look like a hero either way. You know what I mean? As a fed.
They've mastered the art of we'll catch one to let 4 slide.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And not only that, but you're doing that for political and financial gain. Like,
Yeah.
it's part of the.
And it's
part
same
of,
in Mexico, bro.
It's
They can
it's
blame
the
Mexicans for importing, but guess what? We got big players in the United States that are receiving those shipments.
Yep.
Like that is where it's at because they're the ones orchestrating
Think
it.
about
the
it.
Mexicans really now, like it's really like there's not major cartels like organized fucking like it
It's
used
the
to be.
government now.
It's a bunch of compartmentalized little sectors. There's the dudes that do the killings. There's the dudes that do the trafficking. There's the dudes that do that cook in the labs, and they're all separate. Why? Because they realize that if they stay under one big organization, then they all fucking fall.
Yeah.
So they created a
True.
bunch of little gangs, little groups
Yeah.
that all are in collaboration with each other.
And that's how corporations work as well.
Exactly.
They're all
Mhm.
they're connected, but they're separated into little sections, and then there's a parent corporation that owns
Mhm.
everything. Like a
And
pyramid,
something's
like a
happening right
pyramid.
now, like in Mexico. There has to be some sort of dispute for America to be like, you know what, we're considering sending troops out there. Like that's when you know that there was something that happened in the underworld
amongst
where
them?
they're trying to change the power dynamic.
Okay, so my question, my long-winded question to you,
Mhm.
is the modern currency children?
That's crazy, bro. I mean, I think that there's different currencies, but yes, man, adrenochrome
For FBI.
for the FBI. I don't think FBI is just a wing of power for the beast, bro. It's not just the FBI. The FBI is.
I mean, I think that they're the one.
You gotta
It's too much. There's too much happening
Mhm.
for them not to be involved.
So here's a crazy thing. I've been hearing about this shit for years. I've heard interviews of people who have talked about this, bro, and I just never knew how to feel about it. But it just always stayed with me. And what I'm about to say doesn't mean I necessarily believe it, but it just seems like some shit that can be true. So there's been, over the years, I've heard stories about that these beings that are being worshipped require sacrifice, require blood, right? And then I hear about I don't know if
And
it's
you're
this-
talking about interdimensional.
That's
correct?
what I don't know. I just know
Okay,
that there's
you're
an
just
exterior power
Exterior,
that
okay,
they
got
need
you.
to. I imagine it being in the spirit realm as well, because when you sacrifice a human, it lets off
Well,
the
for
most
me,
energy.
and me and my thought, when you say that, I'm thinking like demon or hell. Or,
Yeah.
It's
or
Moloch,
like,
Right.
the god that they worship is a giant owl.
Yeah, that Moloch, you know,
Yeah,
is one
yeah.
that they worship at the cremation of care up in Bohemian Grove.
The Bohemian Grove,
Baal
yeah.
is another one.
Baal.
Celebrities always shouting out Baal and shit
I'm
like
doing.
that.
Yeah.
I'm doing a 31 days of demons for Halloween for the YouTube for our
Balenciaga,
TikTok
that's where it comes
channel.
from.
Smart.
So it's demons that are really believed to be on Earth.
Oh, bro.
Moloch being one of them.
I'm gonna refer you.
Baal is
Dude,
another
I'm gonna
one.
refer you, dude. Okay, back in like 2014, 15, man, there was a YouTube channel that I follow. I'm gonna pass you this guy's info because it was at a point where I was like learning a lot about like let's just say that
The
hell
dark arts?
demons, and this
Were you
guy, dude.
exploring?
Oh yeah, bro, this fool was a
Okay.
full on fucking like Luciferian dude,
Were
right?
you interested in that?
I was interested, and I wouldn't say I was because I was atheist, right? So once I realized what the fuck kind of going on, you got to learn the enemy. That's kind of where my mind was. And he was talking about the 9 kings of hell, and then how each king had 300
Generals.
demons in their fucking dominion.
Mhm.
And that shit's all interesting to me, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm going to pass you his YouTube because I think that's perfect for your series. It's in-depth explaining on the 9 kings of hell. Would be cool to like finish it with that,
I
you
think
know?
that's the guy.
I'm gonna
if,
do that.
If
That's a
it's
good
the same
idea.
guy,
Yeah.
I think I just stumbled him a couple months ago. And
Yeah,
it was weird because I started learning. For me, because no one told me about. Like,
right.
no one told me about all
And
the
dude,
all the demons.
we
and
should
the
know
demons
about
and-
these
and
motherfuckers,
you need
right?
to know
We're
the
fighting
en-
them,
if you-
right?
If you're gonna fight, you better know the enemy.
Gotta know the enemy.
What,
What, what did Sun Tzu say? He said to
Exactly.
win a
The
war,
art of-
you need to
the
know
art
3
of
things.
War. Well, yeah, exactly.
You need to know who the enemy is. You need to know where the battlefield is. And you need to know the weapons being used.
Exactly.
And guess what? They don't arm the average Christian or Catholic with
Yeah.
who the enemy is or
They
enough
tell-
knowledge
they-
to
not
know.
enough- they tell
You
you one.
don't. You don't know the full battlefield and the
Yeah.
spirit realm, and you also don't
You
know
need
the
to know
weapons being
chessboard.
used.
You need
So
to know
check
the
this
chessboard
out.
and the
You know-
pieces.
you guys know like the King James Bible, the guy
Oh,
who
yeah.
wrote that. Catholics don't acknowledge that
Tell this guy.
as a Bible. It's actually banned. The Catholics don't acknowledge the King James
What part of it?
version.
Oh,
The whole thing.
The whole
No,
thing.
but what is suspect?
So King James, he actually hated the Catholic Church. He was like, he hated it. So when he
Well, they're
rewrote the versions, he like fucked
worship
up a
idols,
lot
yeah.
of it. And the Catholic Church actually came after him and they assassinated him.
They're powerful. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Yeah,
they
the
don't.
Catholic is-
So to this day, they don't acknowledge
Dude,
the
Catholics are
King
another
James
gang.
version
Bro, that
of
whole
the Bible.
Vatican shit is evil.
And get this, that fool, he wrote a whole demonology book.
Mm.
So if you look him up, King James Demonology, he writes all about.
Was he the one
demons.
dude that like locked himself in a fucking room and then like wrote the whole book and like says that he doesn't remember writing it.
Oh, but a demon
not
helped
sure.
him write
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not him.
I'm
That's
not
Okay,
sure.
I
the
heard- I
Voyage
heard that one.
manuscript. Correct.
That's crazy. Yeah, I heard some
No,
shit
I-
like
I
that.
heard- I think
I
he's
know
like
a bunch
a
of useless
Freemason or
bullshit.
something.
Me too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
King
yeah.
James wrote a whole book on demonology.
Well, then
So
you also
look
have
him
like
up.
the slave Bible, right? You know, the slave Bible where they would take any reference to any revolution and uprising out to like
Oh, it does.
further just indoctrinate slaves.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they've made many different kinds of Bibles, and
Yeah.
to keep it a buck, man, like when you got translation after translation, some shit's gonna
You're
get
gonna
changed,
lose something.
redacted,
Yes.
fucking.
Yeah.
Okay, so
shifted.
let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's rewind. We got to unpack. There's a lot to unpack. Here.
Oh yeah.
So where I was going with it is, what is Netanyahu's purpose of wanting
Oh, yes.
to
Okay.
capture the West Bank?
Check this out.
And I want to also say, I want to push back on something you said earlier. And I
Mhm.
want you to unpack all
Cool.
this, right? You said something the last time you were on in regards to the Quran not having any parts of it that call on violence.
No, that's not true. I never said that.
Okay.
I
So that- I
I
was
think
under the
it was an
impression.
exchange that we had that, and I have the DM back and forth. You were telling me how violent the Quran is. I said, bro, all holy
Oh,
scriptures
it's
are
us
violent.
talking. Okay,
right,
we're
right.
talking. Okay.
Because all holy scriptures are painted with war and all this shit, right? Even our the Catholic Bible, you can say, you know, which a lot of people or some people attest to, like, yo, there's multiple authors to this shit because there's contradictions within the Bible, and then there's also scripts that are like, yo, go to the fucking neighboring town, slaughter all their fucking children, all the women,
Yep.
all the men, even their animals. Like, what God is that? And so some people say Moloch, you know, or these other entities that infiltrate. And if you know who the Council of Nicaea is,
Mhm.
they're the ones who actually penned the modern Bible that we know of, you know, and
Okay.
actually left scripts out like the Book of Enoch and the
So this is
Book of Thomas.
my question to that. We had talked about, these are what I'm noticing. I'm
Mhm.
noticing that the people who are Muslim and they're in position of power, they what their main goal is they're trying to populate the earth and Sharia law and having their faith
See
take
that,
over.
that Sharia law thing, I think has been exaggerated because
Oh, hold on,
Muslims
hold
live
on,
by
hold
any
on.
laws.
Back it all together.
Right.
The second one is the Talmud, which fuels the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah.
The
They're two
Talmud-
different holy books, but the Talmud is like level 2. The Torah is the holy book for Jewish faith.
So in there, they're doing the same thing. In my view, they're doing
Mhm.
the same thing by the genocide in Palestine as what Muslims are trying to do. Then you got the Christians who
Mhm.
went on terrors for
Mhm.
thousands of
Yeah, the
years.
Papal Inquisition, man.
And
They
now
killed
they're
fucking
chill.
millions and millions.
What is Christianity gonna be pushed out?
I
Are
don't
they
think so.
trying to? Is Israel's goal to cleanse the earth of Muslims, and is our Muslims' goal to cleanse the earth of Israelis?
Okay, so I like that you
Go
said that. Is there any because I know they like to throw that back. I don't know of any Jewish people lived under Muslim protection for over 1,000 years. When they were being persecuted all over Europe, they found refuge in
Oh shit! Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I need to ask this question too because it's where you're going. This is one of the main questions I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
Okay, so when you in the Bible it talks about Israel. Is Israel people? Is Israel a place? Because Israel, that place that is called Israel now,
Mhm.
it's like, what is it, 100 years old or
Judea and
something?
Samaria. Yeah, I think what it is, bro, is Israel was a place, and
Is
it
where
was
it's at
inhabited
now?
by the 12 tribes, as it says in the scripts, right? Now, the 12 tribes disbanded all over the earth, you know, and they went different directions. The modern people who established the state of Israel in 1949 are of Eastern European descent. They're not native to the land, right? And when they did ancestry tests on Palestinians, they found that 84% of them go back at least 20 generations, right? So you could do the math on how many 20 generations is, but the argument there is to say they are descendants of the people of Judea and Samaria, right? And the fact that the modern Israeli doesn't have blood ties, at least provable blood ties to the original 12 tribes, it just puts into question, right? Because we see the videos of them coming in on boats from Poland. We understand that Israel was founded. Okay, even the United Nations labeled the first military of Israel as a terrorist group. I forgot their name, but they were carrying out bombings and killings to establish the state of Israel. One of them famously being the King David Hotel. Speaking of King David in Israel, right, which killed like 50 some or probably a lot more Americans. There was Americans there, and so we understood that they were trying to frame Egypt, trying to frame a neighboring Muslim Arab country into that, and they got caught. We didn't do shit about it.
Hold on. So wait, back up. King David. Who's King David? I was talking about King James.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
he wrote
King
the
James,
Bible.
King whatever. It was the King
The same
David
guy?
Hotel.
It was a-
No,
it
no,
was
no,
the same
different
guy.
guy.
It was a-
I'm talking about
David.
King David Hotel.
David.
It's just the
Okay,
name of a
just
hotel.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
King
all right.
whatever.
Okay,
You know,
all
but
right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just wanted to make sure
No, you're
there
right.
was
You're
a
right.
there's a
You're
different
keeping
King
them honest.
David.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You know, but you know, I think what I'm trying to say is that there was a lot of sacrifices made to establish the state of Israel. What's crazy is there's still people alive that remember being a child around this time. You know, when shit was going on, when people were opening their doors to these immigrants, and then they would come home and find their door locked. You know, and they were told to leave,
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and
I
then
do
we started
remember that.
shipping arms to these new settlers, and so to go back to Netanyahu, and this connects perfect with Netanyahu, is his grandfather was also one of the dudes to broker relationship with the United States, and his dad also played a role in that. So Netanyahu inherently feels a bit of like his purpose is to continue on this journey, right? But Benjamin Netanyahu, he has been prime minister for Israel for like almost 20 years, but there was a little window of like 2 or 3 years in like 2019 where he wasn't prime minister. And so guess what happened, man? They started investigating him and bringing him up on corruption charges. You know, they started investigating him, finding out he was taking bribes and taking like kickbacks in exchange for political moves, right? And so they started the prosecution to prosecute him, investigate, and he's like, fuck. And so his only option to remain free was to become prime minister again. So he sided with the extremist right group in Israel, who are Ben Gavir and I forget his fucking little buddy's name, but these are the guys that are extreme right wing in Israel, and they're the settler colonial division on the outskirts that are actively going to Palestinian homes, kicking them out. It's crazy because in this century, you can't hide that shit. People have cameras and phones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so they're actively kicking people out of their houses, and they're backed up by the Israeli military.
Let
And
me ask
so,
you something.
and so to end it, in conclusion, the reason why Benjamin Netanyahu is prolonging this war, because he knows that once he is done with the war or he finds a peace deal, then his prosecution continues. So in order to remain free, he has to remain in power, and he's prolonging the war with the hopes of a victory so he can be looked at as a fucking hero, right?
So he's being blackmailed essentially to doing these things.
I don't think
Because he
so.
would
I
be
think he's doing it out of
prosecuted.
necessity to save his own ass.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get prosecuted and do serious time.
When he's done, when
Right.
it's
Yeah.
over.
I mean, by
People in
blackmail,
Israel hate
like-
that motherfucker, bro. Like
On
Uh,
Sunday, there's
uh,
a big ass protest.
oh,
Like
they're getting bigger.
100,000 people were
Mhm.
out, and
Yeah.
that is
Mm.
dangerous in that place.
Bro, they even block the internet from Israeli citizens. They don't see the starving kids. They don't see the same shit we see here.
Yeah.
So when they start seeing that shit, I don't know if they're using VPN or whatever, they're waking each other up. And they're fucking printing pictures of these kids. And it's like the first time these Israelis are seeing this shit. So it's like a shock to their whole country, bro, to the citizens of Israel. They're like,
They're
what
not
the
even
fuck, we're
aware
doing
of the
this?
shit's going down. Like
They
all
don't
the
know.
ethnic
They don't know.
cleansing.
Like the majority of people do
Uh,
not know because they don't show it on the news. It's not seen on their social media, you know,
Crazy,
and
dude.
they're also super indoctrinated. All the talk shows and shit. Like,
a
It's
week
like North
bef-
Korea essentially.
a week
Yeah,
before Charlie
exactly.
Kirk passed away, he was on. He was on.
PBD or which one?
No,
you talking
no,
about?
he was on Megyn Kelly,
Oh, right.
and he was talking about. I was in Israel.
Mhm.
That is a fortress.
Mhm.
When you say that place was attacked, and I can't even go 20 feet without meeting a 19-year-old with a rifle, how does 3,000 to 7,000 people die?
Exactly.
They don't.
So then you have a week later, Charlie has a hole in his neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was building to that point, man. Okay, so here's an element too that I think is getting overlooked, but it's been reported on, and we can get into the Kirk thing because this is it's like the hot topic right now, right? But yeah, Charlie was turning, bro, and he was starting to notice. You
Yep,
know,
yep.
he was starting to question because his Turning Point USA was funded a lot by Israeli Zionist money, right? And he was very, you know, he had grassroots element to him. He woke a lot of kids up, and he was very inspiring to a lot of people. But he would never criticize Israel, and he viewed himself as the biggest fighter for Israel for so long until he started noticing. Now, he did an event, Turning Point USA, where he brought a debate, which was Dave Smith, who was also Jewish, and some other fucking dude that worked for like Washington Post or some shit, right? They had a debate. Dave Smith fucking mopped the floor with this
Dave
dude,
Smith's
bro.
a fucking
He's
verbal
a G.
assassin.
He's a G, bro, and he's a
Stay away.
comedian.
Yeah.
And so you can't like
Stay away.
outwit this dude, right? And especially because he's equipped with names, dates, and
He's like a
places, all
fucking
that.
computer
Yes.
in real time.
Love that
Do you
dude.
know do you know Dave Smith, dude?
No, but I'm looking up, bro.
Dude, Dave Smith is a G.
Like,
That
I can't.
is a motherfucker.
I haven't seen
I
any
don't
of his
know.
stand up, but he hangs out with other comedians I watch.
like
I've
his
seen him on
stand-up.
Kill Tony. But like as a person,
Yeah.
fucking tip of the hat, bro.
He's smart.
Right. And so ever since he did that debate on Turning Point USA, bro, Charlie got a lot of bullshit for that. They're like, why would you allow him on your, why would you platform him? And he was getting a lot of threats. They were calling him an anti-Semite. Thus the interview with Megyn Kelly where he's talking about, I got people texting me, calling me an anti-Semite, Megan. I can't believe I am the biggest proponent of Israel. You know, I just can't believe. But bro, 2 interviews before that on his show and on PBD, he was already questioning the stand down order on October 7th. How he said you could fly over for Israel in 15 minutes. How'd it take him 6 hours, right? He was starting to question. That's dangerous, bro, because he is fueling all the conservative Christian youth in America, and Israel knows this, bro. And so when he started turning, now the last straw was the infamous meeting at the Hamptons that he had
Saturday
with Bill
and
Ackman.
Sunday. Yes.
Okay, so there's
Thank you.
yeah.
People don't believe that shit.
Bro,
That
it's-
is it is a
Wait,
truth.
wait, wait, I don't
Go
know
ahead.
about this.
Speak on it.
Yeah.
It was
So
a
so
meeting.
after the Turning Point event and all that, boom, this dude is a billionaire dude named Bill Ackman, and he's a dual citizenship as
They're
well.
having
with-
like a fucking powwow.
yeah, it was
up in
basically for the
Hamptons.
future influencers of America, and he asked Charlie to come speak and overview the future influence of America, right?
Yeah.
So he went, boom, he did his thing, and after the event, he was approached by Bill and another activist chick that was Israeli, right? And they were pressing him on the issue of Israel.
They're saying up to
And-
4 people were there
Yes,
present.
and Charlie's homies were there too. Like they
and
knew
they
what
were
was going
ignoring
down.
it.
Right. And so what they were telling him is, they're like, yo, we will make a substantial donation to TPUSA that'll just fucking make you guys blow up, but we need you as a proponent of Israel, bro.
150
And he
million.
wouldn't take the money. He did that night. He left, and because he said no to the money, that activist chick was attacking him. Bill Ackman was like, all right, you know what I mean? Like,
I tried.
and he told his homies, Charlie Kirk told his homies, he said, man, I don't feel good about this shit, man, you know? And he's also reported allegedly of saying that if he turns on Israel, then they might kill him, right?
That's not allegedly.
Well, I say that to give benefit of the doubt, right?
No, I've heard those words out of
Right.
his mouth.
And so what happened? You know what I mean? Also, there was also Dave Smith, Candace Owens called out to anybody who knew Charlie, let everybody know what your experience was in his last days and where his mind was at, right? And so Dave Smith, and I heard this recently, he showed his text messages with Charlie, right? After the Turning Point event, you know, and during it, what he was saying, and he was like, man, so before Dave
So
Smith
he's
went on
talking
stage.
shit there.
Yes.
While he's there getting press, he's texting Dave Smith.
Dude, it's crazy because before Dave Smith went on stage, Dave was like, hey, dude, so how you want to do this? Like, is there anything like off? You know, and Charlie Kirk was like, dude, just fucking give it all to him, bro. Just give it all to him. And Dave was like, all right. And he went out and mopped the fucking floor with that dude, right? And then after the event, he was like, honestly, bro, you know, I don't disagree with a lot of the things you said. You know, I agree with more than I disagree with is what he told Dave
Yeah.
Smith, right? And that's another clue and a testimony of to Charlie was changing, right? On top of the Megyn Kelly, on top of the
Yeah.
PBD shit he was saying. And so,
And
bro,
this guy he's not a right winger. This guy is like a pure blood, like I love Jesus, like
yeah.
conservative, like
Mhm.
old school conservative from like the 90s, right?
Right.
The hard asses.
And you know, there was another one, I think it was on Jubilee, right? Where he had a round table of young conservative Christians on. And Charlie's smart because he did it. He probably picked those people because he knew that they would say what he couldn't say, bro.
Mhm.
And so it seemed like
He
a big-
wanted it, but he couldn't.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
so he had these
so he can get caught in a
yeah,
fuck
so
up.
he's asking questions in this
Liability,
round
yeah.
table full of like students and shit and activists. And he's like, what do you think about this? And he's like, you know what? That's a valid question. Now, he didn't say anything in his opinion, but just the
Yes.
fact that he was like, that's a valid question.
he platformed
He
that.
opened the door to
Yes,
discussion
bro,
of that.
yes.
Whoa,
And he
wait.
was viewed in negative light. So honestly, man, it's kind of, I hate to say, it's smart of Israel to take him out because, but they fucked up in a few ways, and I'll tell you why. Number one, the fucking old dude, right, that's been used at the Boston Marathon and all that.
George
Number
Zinn.
two, they have this dude, the Tyler dude that they're claiming is, and the text messages back and forth with his lover
Well, I'm pulling him up right now.
that they're talking about. When's the last time you
I'm
used
going
the word
to go
vehicle?
to my vehicle.
Yeah, in a text.
In drop spot.
Yeah.
Drop spot.
So you know how you could type in your
that's either military or some
That's
kind
what
of
he
Right.
said.
right.
It's not a
Yes.
let's put it this way. It's not a civilian talk.
It's not, especially a Gen Zer, homie.
That's not a civilian.
Like
talk.
they don't use full sentences, Gen Zers, and they had no emojis in that fucking.
There's no
interaction.
LOL. There was no anything.
You know, and you know what's funny?
NGL.
It's an ongoing trend right now. Like the Gen Zs on TikTok, they're doing all these fucking videos of them just clowning on that,
Twas
talking
like-
to each other
yeah,
like.
"'Twas the night before Christmas,
Yeah.
my love."
It almost seems ChatGPT generated, bro.
So they ended up running it through ChatGPT. They said 99.9% this
no
was.
fucking way, bro.
Yeah. All right,
See?
so I'm going to read it to you right now.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
How old
Okay.
is this dude? First, let the
He's like
audience know.
22 or something.
He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's 22.
young dude. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I don't think he did
The
it.
shooter.
No, he
The shooter,
didn't. Yeah,
right?
the
I don't
shooter.
think he
the
did.
shooter. Yeah. Complete sentences.
Robinson, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Thus,
For-
I have to.
It's like old English. They got the
Yeah,
wrong
dude.
English settings in there.
Fucking Romeo and Juliet shit.
Shouldn't be long. Maybe they put it into like ChatGPT.
Fucking Shakespeare
talk,
shit.
Yeah.
20s
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
old talk. And
Yeah,
they took
and
it 1920s
Nine-
talk.
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
It's like old
17.
English, right?
And it's all complete
60
sentences.
That's so funny.
Right?
Yeah, this is complete.
Complete sentence,
perfect
period,
punctuation.
Fucking indentation, fucking capital letter. Go ahead.
in a text message.
Yes.
Shouldn't be long until
That's
I return
hilarious.
home.
Right. Return.
But I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old
What
age.
the fuck? Who
God.
writes that shit?
I'm sorry to involve you. And this person right here, furry dude, who's trans,
Yeah.
known for hating Trump. You weren't the one that did it, right?
Yeah. Question mark.
Yeah, that's so sketch.
Next paragraph.
What's interesting is if you saw what happened, it was almost like I was watching. I think it was DMC, SSM DMC. Some reporter was saying like the love story between these two. Like I'm like,
Oh, it's cute.
yeah, like it was cute. Like
They're trying to give energy to that story, but
I
people
was
ain't
like,
buying it.
I'm like, this fool just killed a person, regardless of what the outcome is, and you're
It's not cute.
Isn't it?
You're
creating a love
romanticizing.
story
Yeah.
over these
To
guys
get
that
s-
just murder somebody
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
why?
I don't think
Americans
he did
love
it.
that kind of shit,
It's
like
so
the
weird.
drama.
Yeah, it's all psyops.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
All right, let
So-
me finish the text.
Go ahead,
message.
go ahead, brother.
All right, you weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry, my love.
So he
Mhm.
gave his confession over text
Yeah,
messages?
exactly.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I had enough of his hatred.
Mm-hmm. The
Some
justification
hate
of why, right?
can't be
You
got all
negotiated
the
out.
elements.
So,
Yeah.
so
And
now
he
you got
justified it.
confession.
Uh-huh.
You got motive.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Delete this exchange.
Exchange, my G. Exchange,
Delete this
dog.
exchange.
When's the last time you used the word exchange in a text,
I
bro?
don't think I've
Yeah.
ever used
Don't
it.
talk to the media, please.
Yeah.
Don't
Do
talk
not
to
take
them.
any interviews.
Who does
If
that?
any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
It's like a badly written book, dude. That's crazy.
Bro.
And not to mention, also, so this person's involved, disappears. This Twigs dude
Uh-huh.
disappeared. No one can find him. He's not even wanted for questioning.
The
That's
lover?
number one.
The
Oh,
boy-
the
boyfriend?
lover?
Yeah.
The boyfriend.
Okay, there was also another thing that was said is that I'm going to stash the rifle and I'm going to go retrieve it. Was
Retrieve-
another
yeah,
word
yeah.
he used.
Yeah.
When's the last time you used the word
I'm gonna
retrieve,
stash and
homie?
retrieve
Like,
the
we should
fucking
write all these
weapon.
words
I
down.
put the
Fucking
top off.
exchange, fucking squad car. He used the term squad car.
Drop location.
Yeah, dude. And okay, so here's
My
another.
love so many times.
And they think that we're fucking idiots, bro. You know why? Okay, so the alleged shooter on the roof was using a Mauser rifle, right? And there's tons of videos of military and ex-military that are assembling and disassembling this exact weapon for this purpose. Because they said this motherfucker fired the shot. 8 seconds later, he was fucking running off of the roof. And then there's the whole video of that. So to start out with that particular rifle, the Mauser, the quickest motherfucker did it in like 58 seconds.
It's impossible.
And he's ex-military. So imagine this young dude disassembling this rifle. He left a screwdriver on the rooftop. which they use as like what he used to
Wait, so
disassemble.
it's-
You don't use a
Exactly,
screwdriver
right?
though.
This is the official FBI
So it
narrative.
wasn't fully assembled. He disassembled it.
He disassembled. Okay,
Was
so
it
here.
Why was he walking
Screwdriver?
with a limp this whole time?
Exact-
And I figured-
okay.
So because when you look at him in that video of currently that he's walking through the neighborhood,
It's
he
not
had-
even a video. It's like pictures they're showing. You
Right.
saw a video?
it looks
No,
like
there's
he's
no pictures. There's only photo. You want me to drop some other shit?
Mm-hmm.
All right, talk about that. So the video where they got the doorbell cam, do you notice how you didn't see a video? You just saw still frames?
Uh-huh.
Do you know what happens 8 seconds later after that one frame?
What?
He comes walking the other way with a girl.
Oh,
He walks the other way with a girl.
bro.
So it wasn't-
He
it wasn't
seems
him?
very
Yeah.
chill. So check this out. To add on to what you were saying, bro. So after he allegedly, this is the official FBI narrative, bro.
Uh-huh.
After he fired, 8 seconds later, he disassembled the weapon,
No way.
jumped off of the roof, and they have video from a structure across the grass that got him jumping off of the roof. Number one, they didn't show the video of the actual shot because that can disapprove all these other narratives and these
Well,
theories,
they
right?
put the time frame on it.
Right.
In everything, if you notice, these text messages, no timestamp.
Exactly.
Everything, there's no time frame on this murder.
And there are apps that we can use to manufacture exchanges like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Number two, when he jumped off of the roof, he landed and his knees bent more than a 90 degree angle when he landed, right?
Yeah.
So that disapproves the
To
fact
me.
that he had a rifle in his pants. Not only that, we have
he had
screenshots.
small pants.
Skinny ass jeans,
Yeah.
bro. And he's going down the stairs. There's screenshots of him with this knee bent and with this knee bent. Every weapons expert is saying no way he fit a fucking Mauser in his pants. And it wouldn't fit in the backpack, right? Number
It would
3
come up
and
out of
4.
your shirt.
Bro. And this is how stupid the FBI thinks we are, bro. He went to the fucking woods close by and he assembled the gun again, left it there, dipped out, had this exchange with his lover saying, I gotta retrieve my dad's rifle. He's gonna be pissed if he finds out. I want to
his
go get the
dad's
rifle,
rifle?
but there's a squad car there still. Like using all this fucked up language. So
the
it just
fuck?
doesn't add up that he used the Mauser, disassembled it in 8 seconds, jumped off, bending knees, and then assembled it without his screwdriver that he left on
Yeah,
the fucking roof,
right.
right? And then all of a
It's,
sudden,
the
Well,
screwdriver is null and void because you don't use a screwdriver. You use Allen wrenches with that.
And not only
Boom.
that, but what
Okay.
is the odds? Because I mean, me knowing and being a novice, but knowing I'm going to familiarize myself with weapons and guns, and I've
Yeah.
gone shooting. There's the probability of disassembling, us reassembling, and then not only that, but you're thinking that the scope and everything matches perfectly. You gotta take a couple of shots to coordinate what is happening with the rifle and the scope, so
Mhm.
you can hit your target.
Mhm.
Because the best person can be a deadeye, but if you're shooting a long distance and your scope is not acclimated to where
Mhm.
your degree is, you're gonna miss your target,
that's why it doesn't line up.
and it doesn't line up. So the fact that this dude did all that,
Not to mention the caliber of the bullet doesn't match the size of the wound,
At all.
right? And
Because
so
in reality, a 30-06, it would like I hate to be graphic if
Yeah.
you really were
It would
supportive
rip
of
his
him.
whole
oh fuck
fucking-
yeah, bro.
It would have. Let's just be honest. It's gonna come out the backside, and it's
Mhm.
gonna probably this big coming out.
And that's another thing. The
His head might
autopsy.
have fell off.
There's never been an official autopsy, but there's an alleged autopsy that they said, and I think they might have retracted it, but there was no exit wound, bro. You know, and
There was
this
none.
shit hit this bone. Like, what is this fool's bones made out of so hard that they
The
can stop
doctor
that
said-
caliber of bullet?
This is another thing. Like, and Christians will eat this bitch up too. They said he's like Superman. His bones were so dense.
Fuck it. He drank milk
That's-
every day.
That's number one. Number two, then they go, Charlie was such a good guy. He saved people even while dying. Like, I love the dude, right? I think I think what he did. I'm not Christian. I don't necessarily believe in everything he did, but I respect that type of Christian. If
Mhm.
you're gonna be Christian, you're either Charlie Christian or no Christian at all. That's how. Because he walked the walk. You walked that walk, and I understand it's hard. But if you're gonna make that commitment, you fucking go all in.
He was wearing a bulletproof vest, right?
No.
no.
He wasn't.
He
No.
was wearing. I think he was wearing like a lapel or like one of those mics because his shirt did look weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did have like an audio
Yeah.
recording device.
So it hit that and it bounced off.
And
of
so
it,
here's-
right?
The bullet. Well, I
Because
think
I
what
s-
happened was the impact of the bullet moved his shirt.
Could have
Yeah.
been. Could have
Yeah,
been.
and
you
it made
know,
his shirt look funny because they were saying like, oh, he was wearing like
something.
he was
Yeah.
wearing something underneath, or he was wearing like Teflon, but he was just I
Yeah.
think he was actually just wearing like a audio mic on the side.
And I've
Okay.
heard a lot of theories about a shooter being to his right, up on the top.
Or
I don't know if you
didn't
heard
they say
about
there's a
that.
second shooter too now.
Right.
something?
But here's the thing too, man, is there was a dude, all right behind him.
Oh,
with the
doing
hand,
the hand
signals,
signals.
right? And so he did something like this.
And then military
Boom.
talk.
Got shot. And then there's a dude to his right that
With
was
the hat?
also had something in his hand. He was doing some sort of symbol, but there was a few people in there on that one, bro. And the guy who did the arm signals, he is ex-military. Now he works
I think he's
in
also
in security and shit. Yeah, yeah, he's one of the top-notch dudes, man. And I don't know, there's a lot of shit that don't line up.
He did, and I think there's like what he did compared to militaries. I think it was like, it was either.
There's definitely symbols and
there was
signals.
a symbol, and I don't want to say that it's like take the shot, but there was something like
call the snipers, one of
yeah,
them.
And there's so many inconsistencies with the story that it's worth looking into. And when they do the background on the shooter, that's all just so you get married to that story.
Yeah.
You know, because they want to disapprove this shit so bad. How
Do you-
perfect is that, bro? That a
Do you
fucking
think it is Israel?
I have fucking uncertain.
level, do you
Yes.
think?
I am
I
so
put money on
certain,
it.
bro. 100%. Me personally, like I don't have any hard fucking proof like that I can show people, but in my fucking heart, hell yeah, Israel did that. And they're
Yeah.
smart for doing it. You know why? Because 9 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot, Benjamin Netanyahu posted about it, bro.
No, he fucking made
That's
an
why he
announcement.
fucked up,
Oh,
bro.
he did.
And he did it before President Trump did
He
it.
fucked
And
up, bro.
President Trump is the one that told the United States.
And not only that, Bill Ackman,
Really?
That's insane.
bro, Bill Ackman, the motherfucker who tried to offer Kirk money at
Sure.
that Hamptons
Yeah,
meeting,
yeah, yeah.
he was the first dude to offer $1 million to find the killer, bro.
And he gave it to
Not only
the
that,
family.
not only that, but okay, have you guys heard about the private jet that took off fucking 20 minutes after Charlie was shot? Okay, that was one case, right? The mysterious
the guy
private
that,
jet.
The
Okay?
guy that did it, he
Mhm.
came forward and he talked about it.
Okay, so that was one
That was a
inconsistency.
Candace-
Now
Candace
the
Owens was saying
the
shit.
second plane, it was a private jet registered to a company under Bill Ackman, and it took a flight once before the shooting and once after the shooting, right? And so the coincidences are just adding up.
So the shooter left on that supposed flight or whatever? Or
No, I think it was just to surveil. We don't know where the shooter went, because if anything, I would have said the shooter was the one on that 20-minute private jet. But if you heard the interview with someone who disproved that,
Yeah,
cool.
Candace
It
Owens
doesn't
disproved
disprove
that.
It doesn't
I trust her.
disprove the plane that was owned by a company of Bill Ackman that took a little
So
tour.
it
And
was
it could have been, they're fucking homies and he looking over the event. But, shit just doesn't line up. You know what I mean?
So the guy that they got is a fall guy. It was an Israeli special
100%.
ops that murked fucking
Mossad.
Charlie because he didn't want to align himself with Israel.
Bro, if you look up any interviews on former CIA officers talking about Mossad, these guys will say, bro, these guys have no moral compass. They'll do fucking anything, right? And they're very smart. Mossad has no moral guidelines, and they're willing to do anything. And their motto is actually achieve goals by means of deception. That is like the motto of the Mossad,
That's
which is
true.
Israeli CIA. And
Charlie
so,
called them out, right? That video I sent you, he
Mhm.
talked about,
Yes.
and then he was scared. He was like, "I gotta be careful how I say this."
Right,
And he was like
right.
shaking. He was like, "Yeah, the far right, they're ethnically cleansing Gaza," and he was like scared.
yes. I hate to
So,
say it, but they're
yeah.
going to ethnically
Yeah,
cleanse it.
yes.
And so here's the thing, too, is the countries are recognized. Even before I get into that, man, I had another point, because you reminded me of I don't know. There was many reasons. I was gonna go back to the JFK, man, because after Meyer Lansky and Luciano, in collaboration with Italian and Jewish mob and the military, killed JFK, like a year or two later, Israel or United States had some missing enriched uranium from a facility, I think somewhere on the East Coast, right? And that was a whole nother affair. It was in the newspaper. And so they got their enriched uranium. And guess what, homie? Israel is the only country that never admits to have nuclear weapons. But we all know that they have them. But they're not required to admit it, bro, because they never signed into the nuclear non-proliferation or whatever the fuck. So they don't have to admit it. But United States knows they have nuclear weapons. Guess what? That came from the JFK killing, bro. That's how they paid for that
Oh.
shit.
Okay, and then we were getting to
Crazy.
that. So what ends up happening is Lyndon B. Johnson is in on that shit, right? And as Lyndon B. Johnson has, his blood on JFK's blood on his
Mm-hmm.
jacket, he's smiling at that senator.
Yeah. And he actually regretted it after he was out of office. He has quotes saying, damn, like he feels like he was he regretted signing some of the shit that he signed, which he just signed away a bunch of probably he just signed away a lot of shit to Israel, bro. And
And then they also let them
but they also
destroy the USS Olympic,
Liberty.
Liberty.
But
yeah.
also, they had Lyndon B. Johnson on some fucking Epstein shit too. You know
Lyndon
what I
B.
mean?
Johnson was on it.
Or whoever you were saying, the president who we're just talking about.
Jimmy Carter.
No. You just said his name right now.
JFK.
No, after JFK.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes. So he signed a lot of shit JFK wouldn't, right? After his presidential term, he had regrets about some of the shit he signed because he gave a lot of power.
Because
away.
he gave power
Yeah.
to Israel.
Yep.
And he didn't care. This is a dude. When people ask about Lyndon B. Johnson and when they talk about him, when you look up interviews, everyone says he's a dick. He was I guess was he a military dude or a contracting dude that just went all in on all power.
Yeah, he was definitely a bitch. You know, he was a man. He was definitely a bitch, man, that just folded to exterior power, bro. Like, how else can you say it? And so, damn, what do we see now, man? We see Kirk, bro. Like the last fucking speech that he had was so many people, bro. And people are saying, oh, he could have been the next president. All that. It's just crazy that you have this young man who is conservative Christian speaker, popular on YouTube and shit. He dies, gets shot, and then the president's doing a ceremony where Kirk's family's not even there, bro. You know what I mean? And it's more of a show for the nation. And it's more of even the president is throwing on that fake narrative with everybody. And then you find out that Charlie Kirk's wife was a beauty pageant winner under this. You hear about that shit?
Yeah.
Where Trump owned part of this beauty pageant company.
that makes
He
sense.
knew her back in like 2014. And then you have these old recordings of Trump in like Howard Stern days talking about, we friends and all, we'd run the beauty pageants, and I'm one of the few that I was able to go into the changing room and talking about like touching them, and they wouldn't do anything about
That's where
it.
the birth of grabbing by the pussy started. I walked into the room and I said, "Listen."
I call it the Cobra Clutch.
Oh, so you were there? Like you get it?
The
It's
coochie clutch.
I called it the commando.
He's a very few people.
Very few people know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? Go ahead.
In that, I guess what I'm just saying is that a lot of shit's just lining up. So people are starting to be like, well, was she kind of in on it? You know what I mean? Because she's embracing that whole I forgive the killer, let's move on kind of narrative. And they were only together for a few years, bro. It wasn't that long,
She
right?
was a Truman wife.
Possibly. And the Mossad is notorious for that shit. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel, his fucking lady, bro, is CEO of PragerU, which is an Israeli company, and she's ex-Israeli intelligence. The director of the FBI, bro.
They're infiltrated
Bro.
deep in. The
Yes,
fucking
bro.
American
And he's a
government.
fall guy, bro. And how are you an Indian dude telling Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla?
Yeah,
Bitch, shut up.
What was
dude.
that about? That was the
fuck
weirdest.
outta here.
I don't.
Wait, what
bro,
happened?
he's at the end of it. He goes, "I'll
he a
see you in
nerd?
Valhalla," because
The
he's
fuck outta
saying
here.
like he's a warrior. For
Who
one,
said that?
Cash Patel.
First
The
time
director of the
looking at
FBI.
him,
Yeah.
fuck,
For one,
He's
Cash
an
Patel,
Indian dude.
I will thump on you, dude.
Yeah.
You're not a warrior.
He's not a.
You and it proved it when he went on Rogan
Mm.
and he was like, "Yeah,
yeah, I will.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself."
There's
Like that-
there's
that
evidence.
right there-
Wait until the evidence comes out. Wait until the video.
I don't got no love for that.
Bro, he
can
closed the book on
suck
2
it.
cases this week or last week. He just said, nope,
Phil
there was no
complained
Epstein
about
list. Nope, there was none of this. He's just trying to preserve himself at this point. He
Yeah.
got grilled by the fucking congressional hearing. Like, it almost seems like he was put into that position to be the fall guy.
And do
'Cause
you
they're like,
notice
why is
that
he not white? You know what I
Bongino
mean?
wants out. I think Bongino knows something and he wants out.
Oh yeah.
Once he leaves,
You'll
like,
hear
he put in 2 weeks and they convince him to stay again.
Mm.
Once he leaves, he's gonna spill it. I
Yeah.
think that's a person I can trust.
I mean,
You
He's
know-
former
if-
military.
If they
Right.
allow him to spill it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
Well, you
or-
can't
or
do it.
He'll
Yeah.
He's the type of dude that'll risk his life for it.
Yeah. You know what's
I
crazy?
think he's highly disappointed because he thought it was something that it, and then he found out what it really was, and now he's like, "Fuck."
He made didn't he do a tweet? He was like, everything that you thought it was, it's worse.
Brother, I truly feel at the core, the United States, bro, and you think back in the WikiLeaks and all the documents and the emails that were
We didn't
fucking,
learn from that.
bro. But not only that, this thing about children, like back to your original currency is the children. These people in power getting old to preserve their youth. Now signs we know you could take a baby blood, inject it into yourself, and you will start producing more T cells. You'll start, you'll start regenerating your health. You'll start aging in reverse, essentially. when you inject young blood into you in every way, right? And so this adrenochrome is a way of preserving your youth as well. I mean, there's beauty secrets that they talk about in Hollywood that have to do with young blood all the fucking time. And then you got Marina
And
Abramovich.
a lot of it too. A lot of where you think are they just killing a bunch of kids, or Isaac, where do you think they're getting them from? Abortion clinics, dude.
Abortion clinics, orphanages for years, man. Like Hillary Clinton. Remember when the whole shit in Haiti went down, right? Hillary Clinton had an aide that was with her, and they
Adam
were
Schiff?
caught.
No, Umadine.
Huh?
Umadine, right?
Okay, yes. Was she Hillary Clinton's aide?
Yeah.
Okay, so they were caught. They were out there helping out people in the
Adam Schiff as
disaster,
well.
right? And they were caught with like 30 kids, bro, Haitian kids on a plane. And they're like, "Where are you going?" And they made up some bullshit excuse. They were trying to smuggle these kids
They
out.
yes.
And that's what they do in conflict zones, bro. And that goes back to
The
I don't know if I
WikiLeaks,
said this
the
earlier.
hot dogs,
Mhm.
and this
The
is
pizza.
so
Right.
they got Hillary's emails, right?
Mm-hmm.
From WikiLeaks. Who's that? Edward Snowden?
Yeah, it was Snowden. I mean, it was people who leaked it to WikiLeaks. It wasn't actually Snowden. It was Julian Assange owned
Assange.
it. He owned it, but he didn't leak shit. He was just the owner. He was the face to it, right?
So he ends up releasing the emails,
Mhm.
Obama emails. Obama's like, they're
Hillary.
saying to
Dude,
him,
they're turning on
Obama's
Obama,
saying
too. No,
this.
it's crazy.
He was like, yeah, can you get the $70,000 in hot dogs and
Yeah,
have them this weekend ready?
yeah. 70,000, 30,000 pizza, hot dogs. Who orders that much
Right.
pizza? and
They're
hot dogs?
talking in
Yeah.
code,
They're
bro.
talking
in
They're
code.
talking about pizza.
Cheese pizzas, dude.
Yes.
Cheese pizzas, girls.
And those are known FBI
Pepperoni,
terms,
yeah.
by
At
the way.
and they're saying, oh, don't forget to bring extra cheese pizzas to the party. They'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then they have names of them, like
Yeah, they had one.
Alice,
Alice 7, James 9.
Yes.
Fucking
Yeah.
Melanie
11.
5 or
Yeah.
whatever. And they'll
Little
be in the
kids,
pool.
Isaac.
We'll make sure that they'll be in the pool, ready to play or whatever the fuck they said, because there was a swimming pool involved apparently, for the guests.
Oh, make sure to bring them bathing suits.
Yes. And
A
so
9-year-old for a bathing suit for fucking perverts?
So here's what I think, man. Here's what I truly think. I think that these people are put in power at the top levels, are put in power by some fucking demons, bro, for lack of a better term. Because the spiritual rule is that humans, we have to inflict damage upon ourselves. They cannot do it to us directly. So they influence us with money, power, and whatever it is to carry out their plan, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
So when these people do these ceremonies and they abuse a child, whether it be satanic ritual abuse, whether it be some dirty shit, whatever they're doing, I believe that there's parallel benefits, not only in the spiritual world, but for them. Number one, for them, they reap the benefits from the spiritual entities, but the spiritual entities receive that energy from that sacrifice and the blood and the pain.
Yeah.
Right? The jinn is what they call them
Yes.
in Islam. They call them jinn, right?
Jinn.
And these are spiritual forces that are leeches.
And you can control the jinn.
They'll do shit for you.
There's a story where the scrolls were underneath a river, and then some dude found them, and you read the scrolls, it helps control the jinn.
Mm.
And I think he's a Muslim dude that found it.
Mm.
And then so they found it. It was in Iraq,
Mm.
and then 3 days later, they had weapons of mass destruction, and we took it. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. No, they found a Stargate or some shit too around that time. Yeah, I heard that. And why is the first thing that we did when we invaded Iraq is to storm the Sumerian fucking museums? And we
museums.
took all their tablets, bro, all
they
Sumerian
found
tablets
it.
and artifacts, bro. Why? Because our
I watched
secrets.
Indiana Jones. I know the plot
You
to
know
this
what I
story.
mean?
Why are they stealing artifacts for?
Yeah, let me take a leak one time. We'll take a break and we'll come back on that. But yeah, that's a big one, man. Because if you think about it, the fraternal orders of United States,
Yeah.
they're all into ancient cultures.
Yeah.
They pledge Greek,
Yeah.
but they're really, what is Greek? That's like they admire ancient Egyptian mystery schools,
Sure.
and ancient Egyptian mystery schools derive from the Sumerian knowledge of shit. So that's why it makes sense.
All right,
But
first story, I
Yeah.
have to piss.